Shehu Diko has been appointed chairman of the National Sports Commission. That's the biggest story in Nigeria. That's how I make you welcome to today's edition of the program, Talk Sports. My name is Anthony Momo, the King of Sport, and I've got all the big stories making the rounds in the exciting world of sports. Let's begin from Nigeria, where the big story is that President Bola Tinubu announced the scrapping of the Ministry of Sports Development on Wednesday, replacing it with the National Sports Commission. Diko became a popular figure during his stint as the chairman of the League Management Committee, LMC. The Nigerian top flight witnessed massive development during his stint as the LMC boss. The erudite sport administrator also worked as a consultant to the House of Representatives Sports Committee. The NSC, which had previously been dissolved, is now tasked with overseeing the country's sports policies and administration, a role last undertaken by the Federal Ministry of Sports Development. That's the big story there, and hopefully we'll be getting the NFF Media Director of Communications in the person of Demola Olajire joining us somewhere in the program to tell us more as regards yesterday's happening at the CAF office, where they also did have a meeting with the NFF as regards CAF trying to reach a verdict regarding Nigeria and Libya debacle as regards AFCON 2025 qualifiers. Let's give you more stories and tell you that concerning the MPFL, Academy Warriors of Maiduguri extended their unbeaten streak in the Nigerian Premier Football League MPFL after holding Kwara United. You call them the Afonjo Warriors to a 1-1 draw in Maiduguri on Wednesday. Emmanuel Ogbole gave Kwara United the lead from the sport in the 67th minute, talking about a penalty kick there. The home team, however, equalized through Risilanu Ismaili deep into stoppage time, and it was Academy Warriors moving to the 5th position on the table following the hard-earned draw. Meanwhile, Aliyu Zubairu's side will be away to Rivers United in their next game on Sunday. Kwara United, the Afonjo Warriors, in the 11th position, will entertain defending champions, the Flying Antelopes, talking about Enugu Rangers in a lorry on Sunday. Also, that's as regards the MPFL. Let's move on to other big stories that are making the rounds. Let's talk about, the under-17, the Golden Flamingos, I call them. We're looking at the quarterfinals where we'll be battling the United States of America. Meanwhile, the head coach of the USA team, Katie Shofar, looks to strike perfection ahead of their 2024 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup quarterfinals clash with Nigeria at the Estadio Cibao on Saturday. Let's tell you that the Gaffer made the observation after her team overran South Korea 5-0 in their last Group A match on Tuesday. After losing 3-1 to Spain in their first match, the Americans defeated Colombia 2-0 and obliterated the Korea Republic 5-0 to set up with the Flamingos a rematch of their quarterfinal duel at India 2022, when Nigeria emerged victorious after a penalty shootout. Nigeria are one of the few teams to have finished their group phase with 100% record, whitewashing New Zealand and Ecuador 4-1 and 4-0 in their first two matches, respectively. Let's also let you know that Dominican Republic also lost 1-0 to Nigeria on Wednesday morning, a contest that attracted a record crowd of 13,535 spectators at the stadium, resulting in the highest attended football match for any Dominican Republic national team. The Flamingos, who were noted for their goal-scoring abilities, surprisingly dug deep to score against the host nation, seeking redemption from two previous massacres by New Zealand and Ecuador. Meanwhile, Nigeria finished third at the last edition in India and will hope to go all the way this time, but they must watch out for a certain Kennedy Fuller, a prodigy talented player who roams the midfield like a colossus against Korea Republic, scoring a goal and making her biggest impact by calmly controlling the center of the park. All right, still talking about the Flamingos, let's let you know that Flamingos head coach Bankole has expressed satisfaction with his team's perfect record in the group stage of the ongoing FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup, which had capped with a 1-0 win over host nation Dominican Republic on Wednesday. As Shakira Moshood, winner in the 89th minute, ensured they finished top of the Group A with a maximum 9 points from 3 matches. The match, which drew a record crowd of 13,535 fans, the highest ever attendance for any Dominican Republic national football match, saw the Flamingos employ a measured approach. The victory sets up an intriguing quarterfinal clash against the United States on Saturday night, a rematch of their 2022 encounter in India, where Nigeria triumphed 4-3 on penalties. All right, let's go for the big one taking place in Africa here. It's concerning the Flying Eagles. Yes, the Flying Eagles in the news this morning. Let's say that the Flying Eagles held their last training session on Wednesday morning, preparatory to today's Win or Best 2024 WAFU Zone B Championship Group A clash at the Municipal Stadium, Lome, Togo. According to the team's media officer, Sharif Abdullah, the session started at 8 a.m. and that's 9 a.m. Nigerian time and lasted 1 hour with the coach and his lieutenants focusing on further drilling the players tactically. 19 players took part in the exercise, with the exception of striker Akparobo Arihi, who is nursing minor blisters. After losing 1-0 to Burkina Faso in their first match, the Flying Eagles are revved up to secure a win against the Young Elephants and progress to the last 4 of the tournament. During an earlier chat with journalist, Abdullah said the players held a crucial meeting under the leadership of the skipper of the team, Daniel Bamiyi, resolving to go all out for a win. He said the players were in high spirits, beaming with confidence, looking to once again overcome the challenge of storming back to contention after losing their opening match, a major international championship. The team said coach Aliyu Zuberu had blamed the loss to Burkina Faso on the physicality of the opponent that adversely affected their game plan. The scenario will be a different one against the Young Elephants, known for their fast, gritty approaches to matches. Meanwhile, the WAFU Under-20 Championship serves as the qualification for the 2025 African Under-20 Cup of Nations, with only the finalists going through. Meanwhile, this 2025 Under-20 AFCON will also serve as the African qualifiers for the 2025 FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Chile, where the 4 semi-finalists will qualify automatically. All right, that's the story concerning the Flying Eagles. We wish them the very best of luck as they square out against the Young Elephants from Côte d'Ivoire. All right, let's take one more story before we go for a quick break. Let's do some basketball and tell you that the Tigress guard Izine Kalu was officially welcomed to the women's Chinese basketball by her new club, Zhejiang Golden Bulls, on Wednesday. Yes, the club took to their social media handle to express their delight at having her in their books. In a statement that read, Izine Kalu, welcome to WCBA Zhejiang. She hopes, and that's talking about Nigerian basketball star Kalu recently announced her arrival in China for a short WCBA stint. The 32-year-old played last season at Atlanta Dream. She also did announce her arrival in the Asian country in a statement on her X handle, expressing gratitude to everyone that had supported her. Kalu, who was added to the Zhejiang roster on October 2nd for the new 2024-2025 season, played last season at Oxygen Roma Basket in Italian Serie A1 League. The Nigerian international, who had a sterling campaign with the Tigress at the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris, announced a signing for the Chinese club on October 11 on the same social media platform. Meanwhile, Kalu recently realized her dream of playing in the WNBA after Atlanta Dream on a 7-day hardship contract that allows her teams to temporarily replace injured or ill players. She took her official X account expressing how happy she was to finally be granted the chance in the big league. Meanwhile, Kalu has been a consistent standout player in the Tigress since 2016, winning the last 3 editions of the FIBA Women's Afro Basketball Championship. All right, let's go for a quick break. When we return from the break, hopefully we'll be talking to the NFF media guru, Ademola Olajire, to give us updates as regards what CAF is deciding and how ready the Flying Eagles are for the cracker against Côte d'Ivoire today at the WAFU tournament. Stay with us. Something has he joined?
Time for sports' biggest moments on global television. The headlines, scores, breaking news, and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses, and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns, and victories. Talk sports with the king of sports, Anthony Momodu. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out.
Oh, that goal! Beautiful work from the wingers!
All right, let's give you some updates as regards the UEFA Champions League. When talking about Liverpool now, when Arne Slot took charge of Liverpool following Jurgen Klopp's departure at the end of last season, the Dutchman recognized that he had a big shoes to fill. After all, Klopp had delivered a Champions League and a long-awaited Premier League title, as well as the FA Cup and a couple of League Cups. These are still very early days for Slot, but few could have predicted such a very smooth transition like the one that has taken place at Anfield, where they say they never walk alone. Let's tell you that it was a 1-0 Champions League victory against the RB Leipzig on Wednesday, was their 11th win in 12 matches since Slot took charge. Meanwhile, Slot Liverpool are the first team in the club's history to win each of their opening 6 away games of a season. Liverpool are just the 7th top-flight English side to win each of their opening 6 away games across all competitions in a season. They are the 3rd team to do so in the Premier League era after Newcastle in 1994 and 1995 season, and in Manchester City did it in the 2017-2018 season. They are becoming the winning machine on the Slot, an efficient team who know how to get the job done rather than blowing opponents away. So Liverpool was at their best yesterday. And still talking Liverpool stories, let's tell you that Arne Slot has revealed the reason as to why Mohamed Salah was substituted early on in the second half during Liverpool's 1-0 win over RB Leipzig. Despite getting the assist for Darwin Núñez strike in the first half, the Egyptian had a relatively quiet evening at the Red Bull Arena. He was then taken off in the 63rd minute, with some Liverpool fans wondering whether Slot was unhappy with the winger's performance. However, after the game, the Dutchman explained that Salah was taken off as a precaution, given their blockbuster clash with Arsenal on Sunday afternoon. Liverpool and Arsenal are separated by just 4 points in the Premier League table, and Slot's side will know that a win over the Gunners could provide value confidence in the race for the title. Meanwhile, Uruguayan striker Nunes scored the only goal of the evening and just his second of the season, having struggled to find the back of the net for the Reds recently. So now you know why Mohamed Salah, the Pharaoh from Egypt, was substituted in yesterday's UEFA Champions League match, because the coach has an eye for the battle against the Gunners on Sunday in the English Premier League. Let's move on. Let's give you some other big stories. We're still talking Champions League stories, and it's Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, AC Milan, and Paris Saint-Germain Eindhoven are in the news this morning. But before we take that story, we've got some big happening. My producer tells me that we've got the NFF media chieftain in joining us via Zoom. We've got Ademola Olajire, the Director of Media Communications of the Nigerian Football Federation, joining us via Zoom from the Federal Capital Territory. Good morning, Ademola. Thank you, Olajire. Thank you for joining us on Talk Sports.
Yeah, how are you? Good morning.
Thank you very much. Let's just Nigerians are eager to know. I know that the Nigerian Football Federation was locked in a meeting, internal meeting, and also a meeting with the CAF as regards the expectations. Can you just give us an update? What is happening? What has CAF taken a decision or not?
Yeah, we had the meeting yesterday with we had about 10 people on our side. Libya had 2 people, and we all had the meeting with the CAF disciplinary committee, who was seated in the Cairo office of CAF. We were given time to bring the points out of our presentation, which we had said earlier. So we had enough time. Our Director of Legal Services, Barrister Okeobi, was given enough time to make our case afresh. And of course, the captain of the Value Jet aircraft, that we chartered, Captain Abdel Latif Michegi, was also given ample time, to make his submission. The Libyans also made their own defense, and we are waiting. We don't want to preempt anything. We are waiting for the verdict from CAF. After about 2.5 hours, they exited us that they wanted to be in session. So after that, we are still waiting for them. We expect a favorable decision because our case is clear. This is a case of, it's more than irresponsible behavior, because, they actually, when the captain was explaining yesterday the danger that we faced, by the diversion, everybody was shaking their head. It's, something like a premeditated model attempt, because he explained to them that he was low on fuel, and all over the world in the aviation industry, when a pilot is low on fuel, he is given unconditional permit to land. But these people diverted us, and to an airport without navigators. The pilot was ordered to use his sight, and a city with so many mountains surrounding it, and a cloud gathering, and at night, for that matter. We thank God, that we are still alive, and we expect CAF to come down very hard on Libya. Everyone, in Africa and the world, have to collectively, impose sanctions on this, corrective sanctions on this kind of behavior. Very responsible behavior on the part of the Libyans. We believe that what they have done has no place in sport, and it should be visited, with the stiffest punishment.
All right. After Nigeria made their own case, was Libya quick to respond? And did you think they had a very good defense on their own part?
They had nothing to say. The guy was talking about the fact that the matter was beyond and above Libya Football Federation. We are not falling for that. As far as we are concerned, we don't know any other person in Libya other than the Libyan Football Federation. Whatever is the misconduct, misbehavior of their government, they have to pay the penalty. As for us, we are expecting the 3 points and 3 goals. We are expecting that Libya be stiffly, sanctioned, punished severely for this kind of behavior. And of course, we are expecting that CAF will award us, some very good money, to take care of the monies we spent traveling, and then for compensation for the trauma that all members of the delegation, especially the players, went through.
Okay, I just wanted to ask you about the players. Did CAF need the players to also make their own defense or make their own statement from both sides of the both teams? Were the players or captains involved?
No. This is a matter between football federations. We have made the case on their behalf, and CAF will take a decision based on our submissions.
Okay. All right. Before we let you go now, we just want to know, as regards the Flying Eagles, they will be in action today against the Young Elephants for the WAFU tournament. How ready are the Flying Eagles, and are you confident the Flying Eagles will be able to fly past the Young Elephants?
Of course, even the NFL president has said so, that the team has no choice other than to find a different shape, and be at their very best, be able to defeat the Elephant. They are the defending champions. It will be unwholesome for them to crash out at this stage. And they are in a very tough position now. They are bottom of the 3-team group. Côte d'Ivoire, they have 3 points. Burkina Faso have 3 points. The only route, the only possible option for us is to defeat Côte d'Ivoire by more than 1 goal to be sure of a place in the semi-finals. The intricacies of a 3-team group is that if you lose a match, you're likely to be leaving the competition. As attractive as it is that 2 teams will go through, if you're not careful, you get bumped, after losing a match. So they have an opportunity to rise to the occasion, take their chances, and ensure that they score more than 1 goal against the Ivorians.
All right. Finally, I'm sure you're very proud of the Flamingos that are doing great things in the Dominican Republic. For you, how does the NFL feel with the performance of the Flamingos and against the Americans that they had to go through penalties to beat in the last edition in India? How set are the Flamingos to ensure they beat the Americans?
Yeah, of course. As you said, the 2 teams met at the same stage 2 years ago in India. It was victory for Nigeria after penalty shootout. This time, the Flamingos are looking unstoppable, and we believe that they have what it takes to take this match in regulation time without having to go into penalties. We have a team that has scored 9 goals in 3 matches, kicking a maximum 9 points, conceding only 1 goal, and they've shown a lot of firepower, in front of goal. So we believe in them. The Nigerian Football Federation fully believes in them. The Nigerian football family believes in them, and I believe they will go there against the USA. We have a better record than the Americans at this tournament so far, and we believe that the Flamingos have what it takes, to get past the Americans, and into the semi-final stage.
All right, we just want to say thank you for joining us this morning on Talk Sport, and special thanks to the entire Nigerian Football Federation leadership, especially President Gusau, for ensuring that the Flamingos head coach Bankole remains with the team, and we're seeing the progress they are making, and we wish the Flamingos, the Flying Eagles, the very best of luck as they file out today, representing the green, white, green, and Olaji, I want to say thank you for always coming and talking to us on Talk Sport. Thank you for the great job you're doing at the NFF.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's how much time is going to let us take with the Director of Media Communications, Nigerian Football Federation, Ademola Olajire, giving us update as regards the meeting held with CAF and the Libyan Football Federation as regards the botched 2025 AFCON qualifier. And hopefully in the coming days, we'll be getting the final verdict from CAF as regards who would be getting the hard end of the sticks, to say the least. All right, let's go for a quick break now, and when we return, we'll be taking you back to the UEFA Champions League. We've got Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, AC Milan, Paris Saint-Germain, and Madrid in the mix, and some 2-3 teams, Bayern Munich, Atletico, are likely to be facing elimination, but that will be after this break. We'll give you details as regards what has gone down. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's still Talk Sport on Global Television and the King of Sport in full flight, giving you the big stories making the rounds. Let's take you to the UEFA Champions League, where Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, AC Milan, and PSG Eindhoven are some of the top teams in danger of elimination from the Champions League. Vincent Kompany's men were trashed 4-1 by Barcelona on Wednesday night. It was the Bavarians' second defeat of the league phase after they lost 1-0 to Aston Villa in match day 2. Meanwhile, Atletico Madrid are sitting in the 27th spot after they suffered a 3-1 loss to Lille at home, and Jonathan David scored twice as the League One beat another Madrid team this season. Let's tell you that Italian giant AC Milan are in the 25th spot despite their 3-1 win over Club Brugge from Belgium on Tuesday. Meanwhile, PSV from Holland occupy 28th spot with 2 points from 3 fixtures. After each club has played 8 matches, the top 8 move into the last 16, and those ranked between 9th and 24th go to the playoff, trying to join them. That's the new format of the UEFA Champions League. All right, still talking Champions League. One man is reacting. Yes, Bayern Munich coach, his name, Vincent Kompany. Yes, he's in the news this morning. Let's tell you that Bayern Munich manager Vincent Kompany has congratulated Barcelona after they lost 4-1 in the Champions League at the Nou Camp. Rafinha scored a hat-trick for the La Liga Giants as they extended a run of 6 straight defeats against Bayern in the competition. Speaking after the game, company hailed Barca as a top team and claimed that it was not a surprise. Bayern only have 3 points after 3 games in the Champions League. Meanwhile, let's tell you about the Brazilian Magic. Yes, we're talking the Brazilian Magic this morning. As the man called Rafinha, let's let you know that Barcelona winger Rafinha and a standing ovation after his hat-trick helped the Catalan side earn a dominant 4-1 victory over Bayern Munich in the Champions League. The Brazilian, who has taken over as Barcelona captain after Marc-Andre Stegen injury, gave the home side the perfect start to the night at the Olympic Stadium. Rafinha opened the scoring in the opening minute after being sent clean through on goal before rounding off Manuel Neuer to finish into the empty net. Meanwhile, England captain Harry Kane saw an effort ruled out for the visitors, but leveled the match in the 18th minute by volleying in Serge Gnabry's cross. Meanwhile, Bayern were haunted by their former forward Robert Lewandowski, who restored Barcelona's advantage in the 36th minute. Meanwhile, Lewandowski rolled into an empty net from close range after Fermin Lopez beat Neuer to a loose ball, with Bayern complaining of a foul in the build-up. Meanwhile, the Polish striker opted against celebrating against his former side, and that's what you do when you love your former team. You do not celebrate when you score against them, especially as a top striker like Lewandowski. Still talking Champions League big stories. Yes, let's talk about this man. His name, Erling Haaland, is in the news this morning. Let's let you know that Manchester City striker Erling Haaland has surpassed Neymar and matched Didier Drogba in the Champions League goal-scoring ranks. Haaland scored twice as City beat Sparta Prague 5-0 on Wednesday night. His first was a stunning backheel volley, which left fans stunned. I wish my producer would show us the peak of that goal, the stunning backheel by Haaland. Let's let you know that Haaland scored twice as City beat Sparta Prague 5-0 in Wednesday's night 5-0 win. His first was a stunning backheel volley, which left fans stunned. It also meant that the 24-year-old has scored 44 Champions League goals, the same number as Didier Drogba, and more than players like Neymar and Alessandro Del Piero. Haaland, however, still has some way to go to match Cristiano Ronaldo, who is the top scorer in the Champions League history. Ronaldo netted 141 goals in the competition, while the only other player to crack 100 is Lionel Messi, who scored 129 goals. Meanwhile, Robert Lewandowski now has 97 goals to his name after scoring for Barcelona in their 4-1 thumping of Bayern Munich. Meanwhile, let's move on. Still talking big stories making the rounds, and we're still talking about the citizens. Yes, talking about Manchester City. The big story is about the man called Pep Guardiola. Let's say that Pep Guardiola was quick to heap praise on Erling Haaland's unbelievable goal in Man City's 5-0 win over Sparta Prague. The Norwegian forward produced an acrobatic backheel strike to find the back of the net at the Etihad before scoring for a second time later on in the game. Haaland's goal caught the attention of the social media as fans reveled in the impressive strike, and City boss Guardiola followed suit shortly after the final whistle. City teammate Phil Foden also lauded Haaland's effort post-match, suggesting he would have ended up on the treatment table had he tried similar acrobatic effort. Meanwhile, Haaland's athleticism was praised by his former Manchester United defender in the person of Rio Ferdinand, who drew comparison to legendary Swedish forward Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic earned a reputation of acrobatic goals during his career, including a memorable long-range bicycle kick against England back in 2012. The body of theirs is able to get into positions that not many people can do and control the football. Yes, Zlatan Ibrahimovic which is definitely one of the best strikers the world has ever seen. All right, from a deadly striker as Erling Haaland to a man, he calls himself the special one. Jose Mourinho is in the news this morning. Let's say that Jose Mourinho took an aim at Manchester City and his old rival Pep Guardiola by joking he still hasn't given up hope of pocketing a bonus from Manchester United for winning the Premier League title if their neighbours are retrospectively punished for breaking financial rules. Mourinho faces United as Fenerbahce balls in the Europa League tie in Istanbul on Thursday night. That's today, and he was in typically mischievous mood when he appeared before the media at the Turkish club's training ground. Let's also let you know that reflecting on his time at United, and particularly in the 2017-2018 season when he finished second to his old rival Guardiola, Mourinho wondered out loud if he might win a title should City be found guilty of the 115 charges they are facing. Meanwhile, the Red Devils came second to their crosstown rivals that season, with Mourinho's side finishing way behind City. City could have won the title by beating United in the Manchester Derby in April 2018 and were 2-0 up before Mourinho's side fought back to win 3-2. Meanwhile, Pep Guardiola's men were crowned champions a week later, where United lost at home to West Brom. It was a remarkable record-breaking year for Pep Guardiola and co, who managed to pick up unprecedented 100 points. All right, that's the story concerning Jose Mourinho, this special one, but he's not done yet. We still have more Jose Mourinho stories as the special one breaks his silence on Manchester United's decision to sack Sir Alex Ferguson. All right, let's tell you that Jose says the love of Manchester United fans around the world will be more important to Sir Alex Ferguson than the £2 million a year he has lost as a club ambassador. Ferguson will step down from his lucrative role at the end of the season after new co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe decided to rip up his contract as part of a cost-cutting program. Mourinho was asked about the decision as he prepared to meet United as Fenerbahce balls in Thursday night Europa League tie in Istanbul. All right, Jose Mourinho, always the special one, always controversial. Let's leave Jose Mourinho and go to the next big story. We're talking Vincent Kompany is in the news this morning. Let's tell you that Vincent Kompany has heaped praise on Barcelona Spanish forward Lamine Yamal, hailing the wonder kid as the club's natural heir to Lionel Messi. Kompany noted Barca's good timing and fortune to have such a prodigious talent in Yamal in their ranks. Such a short time after Messi left the Catalan club in 2021, the Bayern Munich boss was speaking ahead of his team's Champions League match day 3 clash with Barca on Wednesday evening at the Nou Camp. Messi's departure from Barca for PSG was a major shock to the footballing world back in 2021, and it created shockwaves that sent everyone talking and also affected the club he had been for years. He is already appearing to be the talismanic figure within the Hansi Flick team, talking about Yamal, and is well on his way to walking the footsteps of his boyhood hero, Messi. Meanwhile, Kompany added the Barcelona academy system, La Masia, can't take much of the credit as it has developed Yamal as a youngster much in the same way it did to Messi. All right, from that story, let's move on to other big stories making the rounds. Let's talk about the man called Gareth Southgate. He is in the news this morning. We're talking Gareth Southgate in contention to replace Premier League manager. That's the big story there, as former England manager Gareth Southgate is reportedly a potential candidate to replace a struggling Premier League manager. Southgate resigned as England boss after the Three Lions crushing 2-1 defeat by Spain in July's Euro 2024 finals in Berlin. He has since been linked with a number of jobs, most notably to take over from Erik ten Hag at Manchester United. And The Guardian claimed he is also being considered by Crystal Palace, with Oliver Glasner under mounting pressure Meanwhile, former Brighton boss Graham Potter and ex-West Ham manager David Moyes are also seen as options, according to the report. Meanwhile, Glasner maintains immediate backing of senior members of Crystal Palace's hierarchy, but there is increasing alarm after the team's poor start to the season. Meanwhile, the South London side are one of the only 4 clubs in the Premier League without a victory in their opening 8 games. Their latest setback arriving in Monday's defeat to Nottingham Forest, a result that leaves them in the relegation zone. All right, let's go for a very quick break. When we return from this break, we'll be looking at some transfer news making the rounds as Manchester United are reportedly interested in signing 2 Napoli stars. You get the news after this break. Stay with us.
It's time for sports' biggest moments on global television. The headlines, scores, breaking news and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns and victories. Talk Sports with the King of Sports, Anthony Momodu. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out.
Oh, that goal! Beautiful!
All right, welcome back from the break. Still Talk Sport as we reach the business end of the program. Let's give you some top stories concerning transfer market. And we're taking to Old Trafford, the Theatre of Dreams, where Manchester United are reportedly interested in signing 2 Napoli stars after sending their scouts toward the Serie A side in action. Napoli have made a flying start to the new season, taking 19 points from their opening 8 matches to move to the top of the table. And United scouts watched their latest victory as Antonio Conte's men edged past Empoli 1-0 on Sunday, and it was Kichav Kvaratskhelia scored the only goal of the game from the penalty spot, and United are keen to signing him and defender Alexandro, according to the Toto Mercato web. Kvaratskhelia stayed for Georgia at the Euros this summer after helping Napoli win their first Serie A title in 33 years in 2023. He has a contract with Napoli until 2027, but is reportedly asking for 8 million a year to sign a new contract, which is more than 4 times his current salary. It remains to be seen whether Napoli will be willing to meet Kvaratskhelia demands after Conte considered him unsellable in the summer. But United could offer him a wage boost in order to tempt him to Old Trafford. Meanwhile, Bongiorno only joined Napoli from Torino in the most recent transfer window for 40 million euros and has played a pivotal role in the team's early season success. Napoli have only conceded 5 goals in their opening 8 Serie A fixtures, with Bongiorno at the heart of their defense. It is understood that the Italian giants would want a fee in excess of 70 million euros to even consider selling the defender. All right, from football, let's go to the boxing ring where we've got uppercut getting strong punches, and we're talking about one man, his name Tyson Fury. Yes, Tyson Fury is in the news this morning. Talking boxing, let's tell you that Tyson Fury has revealed his wife suffered a miscarriage the day before he was beaten by Alexander Usyk in May. Fury and Usyk faced each other in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, with the Ukrainian emerging victorious via split decision to become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. But Fury may have had other things on his mind and has now detailed a conversation he had with his wife, Paris, who had opted to stay behind in England, that left him concerned heading into the fight. Meanwhile, Tyson and Paris have been married for 16 years and have 7 children together, but they have suffered family heartbreak before on multiple occasions. Paris gave birth to a stillborn baby in 2014 and miscarried carried 4 years later. She learned of her miscarriage on the same day Tyson made his long-awaited comeback after 3 years out of the ring against Sefri in June 2018, but did not tell her husband until after he had got his hand raised. All right, that's talking boxing there, and it tells you when to become one. Anything that happens to one could affect the other. All right, let's give you, just to remind you that later today, the Flying Eagles of Nigeria will be taking on the Young Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire in the WAFU Under-20 match day, which will determine if the Flying Eagles will be qualifying for the knockout stages of the Under-20 African Cup of Nations that will be taking place next year. We'll also be having the Flamingos will be in action against the U.S. Over the weekend. We'll be wishing them the very best of luck. Already we did speak with the Nigerian Football Federation media guru, Director of Media Communications in the person of Dr. Ademola Olajire, who has informed us that they made their presentations to CAF yesterday alongside the Libyan counterpart, and so we are waiting for CAF to take a final decision on what happens, but he is confident that Nigeria made a good case yesterday, and hopefully we're expecting CAF to come hard on the Libyan Football Federation and also to award Nigeria the 3 points and 3 goals for that match that was left not played. Talking about the 2025 second leg fixture between the Mediterranean Knights and the Super Eagles of Nigeria. That's how much time is going to let us take on today's edition of the program, Talk Sport. I want to say thank you to the entire production team, and special thanks to the Nigerian Football Federation Media Director in the person of Dr. Ademola Olajire for joining us and giving us updates as regards CAF's decision and how the meeting went yesterday between the Nigerian Football Federation, CAF, and the Libyan Football Federation. My name is Anthony Momodi, saying thank you for being part of Talk Sport. Good morning.